we've got wellness over here, good physical health, a lot of energy, managing your stress well, and then I attach coaching to it. What do you think the coaching piece is?
I think of somebody who's there to support or assist me when I don't necessarily feel like I can do it on my own. So partly teaching me things, partly encouraging, helping me stay on track and remain focused on stuff that I know is really important, but sometimes I just can't attend to how I want to.
So you recognize that as critical as your wellness is, nobody, including you, is at it 100% all the time. So a coach for you, like if I were gonna be your coach, you would appreciate having that kind of support there to help you get through.
Yeah.
So what would be the real benefit of that support? Like when we think about why someone might want wellness coaching, and you agreed to come in and hear about it because it sounded like something you might want. So what would be important about having that extra support for that coach?
I find that I try to work on lots of different things at the same time, and they all feel really important, and then sometimes none of them happen because it's just too many things. So firstly, thinking about what I want to focus on right now, and then once I feel really confident in doing it, continuing it is an issue, and then adding on stuff versus just piling it and then trying to run around doing it all.
So sometimes it sounds like you feel scattered about all the things that you want to accomplish. And sometimes you feel burdened by your high expectations of yourself. And so as a coach, I could help you, or whoever's going to be your wellness coach could help you both sort of narrow your focus and then stay on top of that so you accomplish something without getting dragged off in a lot of different directions at the same time. Okay, great. And your intuition about what wellness coaching is really right on target. Right on target. So we think of wellness in general as having a lot of parts to it. So you emphasize the physical, and that's one part. And that's the part that we focus on in wellness coaching here, but there are a lot of other things. So I wanted you to see this picture here, because picture has 8 dimensions on it, and over here is physical, so that's what you're talking about. But see some of these other ones here? What do you think about when you look at this picture of all these different dimensions? What do you think about?
Well, the first thing that I think about is that some of them are a lot more important to me right now than others. And the other thing I think about is that if I'm feeling overwhelmed or unfulfilled in some of them, the others tend to feel, I feel pressured in the other ones. So for example, the reason why I chose this physical one is because it relates to almost every other thing for me.
Yeah, so like you were saying that your physical health helps you get your work done, so that's occupational. It also gives you the energy. I know you have a lot of important people in your life, a lot of important friends you want to stay connected to. You want to have the energy to be able to connect with them and to keep up with your son, who's a very busy little fellow, also is important to you. That was just one example. So we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about all these. Part of wellness coaching involves looking at all these. You want to hang on to that? Yeah. You can keep looking at that as we talk. So part of wellness coaching is looking at all these things, but then we're going to focus in on the physical. Partly because that's what you want, and partly because that's the way we're doing wellness coaching here is mostly focused on the physical. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about how wellness coaching works. And your idea about you want to set what you want to accomplish, and you want me to help, or whoever your coach is going to be, to help guide you and support you. That's exactly what we have set up here. So it's helping people choose what they want to change or improve. It's not me looking you over and deciding, I think Amy should do better at this. I think Amy should eat this or do this, or sleep these certain hours or something. It's me helping you figure out what you want to do, and then coming up with a plan to make that happen. And then supporting you through the plan. So So what we usually do, I have, as we get into it, if it does turn out to be something that sounds appealing to you, we do have a sheet, a worksheet, and we go through that worksheet together. It's your worksheet, so, you know, you can fill it out, you can keep it. I'll keep a copy just so I have one on record and can be thinking about you in between the times we meet, but we'll go through that worksheet piece by piece, and that walks you through thinking about all these 8 dimensions, coming up with your goal, and then developing a plan and putting that plan into action.
So how do you know for a person like me, like what do we do so I can figure out which part of physical wellness I want to tackle first?
Yeah, that's a great question, because part of what you said is you get scattered. You want to go in all the directions at the same time. So we have a particular list of some of the things that go into physical wellness, and we look at those one at a time, what you're already doing, and then you only pick one of those where you'd like to make a change. And then we take a little bit of time to talk about exactly what change you want to make. And it's a short timeline, so we're gonna spend a month sort of figuring out your goal and your plan, and then we're probably gonna spend about a month with you doing the plan and me supporting you. And then at the end of the 2 months, we'll sit down and talk about how it went. Do you wanna continue? Do you wanna do another round with a different goal? Or do you wanna just take a break and work on what you've been working on, continue to work on it on your own? So it's kind of your call. I mean, you're the driver of this whole process.
Okay.
So we go through the worksheet together. I told you we're gonna be meeting regularly for a couple of months. At the first month or so, while we're putting together the goal and the plan, we'll probably be meeting about an hour a time, each time, about once a week. And we can be a little bit flexible about that, but I found that if we meet that often for that period of time, we can really get somewhere.
So what if I have to call you instead?
You can certainly call me. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to really work together over the phone. So if it's something that you're interested in, and maybe you can't come in every single week at the beginning, maybe we could do some of it over the phone, or maybe we could meet twice a week, or 1 week and then not the next week.
Okay.
So we can adjust the schedule to fit you. But as you know, because you sound like someone who's made a lot of changes in your life before, you kind of have to have some momentum going to make it work. And if we spend too much time between meetings, things can get lost.
Okay.
So that's why we want to meet regularly. And after the first month, when you have your plan and you're putting your plan into place, then phone calls work well. You don't have to meet face to face, and it probably won't be a whole hour every single time either. It's really the first month getting that plan set
Okay.
that takes these a little bit longer, a little bit more frequent meetings. How's that sound so far?
It's fine. I'm just thinking of like childcare, or if there's like a week where something happens at work and I can't actually drive to the program, so.
Sure, and one of the nice things about this new program is that I'm somewhat flexible, so if it would be more convenient for me to meet near your work or near your house or something and save you some of the commuting time, that might be something that we want to do. So after you decide, we can work out some of the specifics, but that's sort of the general picture.
Okay.
And then, I'm just checking here if there are other things that I wanted to mention to you. Certainly, I know you have worked with other people in the past. You mentioned it when we talked before, that you had a nutritionist at one point, and you have worked with a physical trainer, personal trainer person at your gym. We can certainly coordinate, if you want to, coordinate with some other people on your team, and if you want to pull in some natural support, some people who are in your life, some of your friends, your gym buddy, if you wanted to include them, we can certainly talk about that too. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So when you think about what I've had so far, what are the questions that come to mind for you?
Well, you talked about this worksheet.
Yes.
And I've done worksheets in the past that have been like, take a lot of time and they're not really all that helpful. So I just wondered, you mentioned like a planning thing. So I just wondered what that was.
Yeah, so if I had it right here on my lap, I would show it to you, which I should have put in my lap before we do the orienting. It starts out by looking at what you're doing now, in all these dimensions, and then talks about what you're doing now in the physical dimension. Then the worksheet helps us narrow down to the area you wanna work with, then there are a couple of pages to set a goal and a page to make a plan. So it's something we're gonna do together. It's not little assessment sheets that you do on your own. It's really a way of documenting what we're talking about, and it's something that really you can use. So people who have used this tool before have found it really helps them get to their goal and put into place the actions that they want to take.
Okay, so is there like some kind of like log that I use too? Like say I've decided I wanna do something, like, do you have like a diary or like something I use?
Certainly, we could do that depending on what your goal is. And some people, their whole goal is keeping a log or a diary, say about what they eat or about their exercise. Other people are trying to put plans into place, and they might keep track of whether they're doing, fulfilling each of the steps. They might keep track of that. So that would be something we would work out, like how do you prove to yourself that you're being successful? And then part of when you're working on your plan, part of us getting together is you being able to tell me what's going on. So when you do well, we can,
Okay,
have
I don't
a
wanna
simple
use like one of
encouragement.
those MyFitnessPal things.
That's
though.
fine.
Okay, cause that
That's fine.
bothers me,
That's fine.
and then I forget to put stuff in, and then I would not like to use that.
Yeah, because maybe for you, some people like the logging, some people don't. Maybe for you, that just becomes another burden when you're already burdened. Maybe that's not what you wanna do. So that's why we would develop a plan that fits you and your life and your interests and your strengths. Not something I think you should do, but what you wanna do. It's all, you're the driver, you're the chooser.
Okay.
So you don't have to decide right now if you wanna do this, but if you already know it's something you wanna do, we could set our next appointment already.
I think I should set the appointment and think about anything else that I don't like or that I could use help with, and then talk more if we need to about it, or start.
Yeah, so why don't we set the time, and then we'll do, leave the door open so that when we meet together next time, we'll start by talking about what other questions you have. We can go through the worksheet so you can see what it looks like. And if you decide between now and that appointment that it's something you don't wanna do, or something that doesn't fit in your life right now, maybe you wanna do it later, you can call and cancel the appointment. So or you can come in and we can talk about when might be the best time, and is this really a good fit for you right now, whatever you want. 'Cause it's up to you, it's something for you, and if you want it, we'll do it, and if you don't want it, we don't have to do it.
Okay, great.
How's that sound?
Good.
Okay, so then we would make the appointment, and then we're